And good morning to you. Welcome. It's Martin, Jeff, and the Farmchick coming to you high atop the Eagle Building in beautiful downtown Goodland. Our show here on Eagle Cable Channel 10, KLOE AM Radio, and streaming from our Facebook page, Martin, Jeff, and the Farmchick, is brought to you by Eckland Insurance, LLC, Northwest Tech, Elliott's Home Furnishings, Goodland Sonic Drive-In, and The Insurance Agency. On my left is nobody. Well, she's not a nobody.
We're chickless.
We're chickless
For a moment.
Obviously, on my right is Jeff.
She got delayed by the train, I think.
Really? Wow. And of course, I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
There's something nice about getting delayed by the train. I don't know about you, but unless you're in a hurry.
Yeah, well.
I kind of like it.
What I find entertaining is when people who just absolutely are not going to sit in that line. And so they'll flip around and they'll drive clear to the other end of town to come back.
And by then the train is
By
gone.
the time the train's gone by.
Right. See, I know that's going to happen, so I don't move.
Yeah. No. It's one of those things that we're just kind of used to, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to really think about it. I mean,
It's
other towns don't really have to worry about it a whole lot, but we
something
do
we've been doing all our life.
all of our life.
Kind of brings back memories. Driving my mother nuts, screaming in the back seat. As kids.
Trying to beat the train? Were you guys trying to beat the train? Which
no.
is very dangerous. Do not try to beat the train.
Don't try to do that. Of course,
The
back
train's
then,
going to win. The train's going to win.
I remember for the longest time, we didn't have the little gates that came down.
Right.
And so a
had
lot
to
of
go-
people did sneak across.
You just had to go by the ding, ding, ding of the bell.
And the
right?
flashing lights. There were flashing lights. But,
Anyway.
one night I drove there and the lights started flashing and they started moving and the lights started coming down on top of me and there was no train. I couldn't figure out.
Oh, really?
Close Encounters of the
Yeah,
Third.
yeah,
I was just making that up. Of course.
I got that. I got the reference.
Oh, God.
The thing started shaking back and forth.
They started shaking and next day I had this half a sunburn.
Half a sunburn. That's right. Really.
Half a sunburn.
Oh, shoot.
That movie's been out that was 41 years ago.
You know, it's one of those movies that I saw as a kid, and it scared me to death, right? I was just so afraid of it. And now I watch it down there, and I realize it's supposed to be funny. I mean, not supposed to be funny, but it's supposed to be funny.
It's a fantasy.
It's not supposed to be scary.
No, nothing scary about it. It's supposed to be.
Oh, my gosh, it scared me. I really was. I was really nervous.
I think that's what...
But, of course, everybody at the time, everybody was seeing UFOs.
Yeah.
When Close Encounter came out, everybody saw a UFO somewhere.
Well, the title is based on a true... a thing that a doctor or a specialist came up with the first encounter, second encounter, third encounter of the third kind,
right?
Encounter of the third kind. So, but have you ever seen a UFO anywhere? You live out. You're a farmer. You farm late at night.
Okay,
sometimes?
so we don't know what this was. This is what how it starts out, right? But my tractor broke down on the side of the road, or actually we had a flat tire on the side of the road, and I had the flashers on my tractor were going off, and my flasher would flash on my tractor, then something up in space above us would flash, and
Really?
it kept doing the opposite. Yeah. And the guy I was with, first of all, we didn't start getting too nervous, and then your mind starts playing tricks on you, right? And that's all of a sudden like, okay, we got to get out of here because whatever they are, we're signaling them somehow.
Oh.
You know, whatever message my tractor is signaling to them. So
Was the guy you were with? Was he sometimes called the farm chump?
no,
Because he's into aliens and stuff?
This guy was the guy I was with was like a no nonsense kind of a guy, and he was.
Oh.
I didn't get nervous till he got nervous, and then when he got nervous, I thought, oh my gosh. So it's kind of like one night I was out checking wells, and I was on my 4-wheeler, and I had to go about 1.5 miles through the field, and I had to go out and shut the well off it was like at midnight or something. Anyway, I was going along, and all of a sudden I going through this tunnel of corn, and I thought I heard somebody behind me on my 4-wheeler. Right, I'm doing 30, and I can hear something following me. And so I slow down and then I speed up, and no matter what I do, it sound was always back there. Okay, scared me to death, and I just floored it, and I went as fast as I could to get back to my pickup. Figuring out when I got back to my pickup, it was the weeds underneath my 4-wheeler flicking back behind us.
Oh,
anyway, but I thought it was Bigfoot chasing me. I really did. I thought this vision of
Scary.
scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're back,
No.
and we're back with the chick.
We're back.
Farmchick
I'm
is
here.
back. We were talking about
Being
close
played by the-
encounters,
Oh.
in the scene where the guy stops at the railroad tracks and lights start flashing and he gets a sunburn, half a sunburn.
Actually, we're talking about because you got delayed by the train.
Oh, yeah, well,
Yeah.
and the cold and yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, we just got started. So
Okay.
But
here we are. We're half over. too.
Friday,
Oh.
I went to the stock show.
Oh,
with
really?
with the cow guy.
Really?
It was fun.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
It'd be fun with him. We need to
Well,
do
you know, actually,
we should do this radio show from there someday.
I know. We went up there he went up there to
about
pick some cattle.
Mm-hmm.
So he sat for 2 hours in a line with his trailer, and I strolled the show.
Yeah.
I went and watched a little bit of the rodeo. I went and watched a little bit of the horse show. Went and watched some cattle shows.
It's a good time. I
walked through
remember years ago
the
going.
sheep
I've
barn.
never done it. Did they expand or remodel or add parking or something?
They are getting ready to redo the whole thing, the whole area. I mean, like massive. I don't know how many millions of dollars they're going to spend down there, but they are building new buildings and building new parking lots. And
Well, they should. It's a huge thing.
yeah,
It's
because it was supposed to go up. They were going to put it out there by the airport. They were going to move
Yeah.
the whole National Restaurant by the airport, but they're keeping it down there downtown,
a bad idea.
right down there next to the. You know when you go through Denver and there's that Purina
Yeah. Oh,
dog
yeah.
food thing that always stinks.
I always think it smells good.
Yeah, yeah, really.
I like the smell.
I haven't smelled it for a while, but I just remember as a kid. But
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You knew you're next to the Coliseum when you smelled that Purina
Mm-hmm.
dog food cooking.
Yeah. And is it still going or is it over?
Nope, it goes next week.
Okay.
One more week.
You never keep track.
So this week is the steer shows. So last week was cattle shows. This week is the steer shows. So
All right.
So
So
then
you been to the stock show?
Not for a few years.
Okay.
I used to go a lot when I was a kid, and then we went a couple times in college, which was more about the after
really,
party.
Yeah, really more
It
about
was more about the
Grizzly Rose.
the cowboys in town. No,
And it,
so yeah, but I haven't been lately. I would like to go.
I'd like to go. I think it's next weekend. I think is when they bring this. When after they have the steer show and they have the Grand Champion steer and they bring him down to the Brown Palace and put him in the lobby of the Brown
Now
Palace.
that would be neat to see. I would enjoy
I'd go
that.
see that.
Now, I just realized you both are wearing mountain cowboy
Because
hats. What
I
is
went
that?
to the stock show on Friday and came home Friday night and then got up early Saturday morning and then the Farmchick and the Chump and my wife and I went out to the Mountain Cowboy
Brewing company.
Brewing Company.
Oh, okay.
So I have these friends that I went to Wyoming with, and they've opened up a
okay.
brewery, and they have a hops farm there in
wow.
Frederick, Colorado. So we went out to check it out at their grand opening. So yeah, we're sporting the gear today. We both
was
have our
fun.
hats
Oh,
on.
that sounds like fun. Yeah.
It's like a college reunion for me.
You'll have to bring me a growler next time you go there. I like.
Well,
we
come
got one.
over.
We
I've
got
got
one.
several.
Well.
Yeah.
Come
and
over for a beer.
Did you buy the leg lamp? Is what I would like to know.
No, that was at a restaurant.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we went to a
I thought
restaurant.
maybe it was an antique store or something. You were.
No, it was at a restaurant. And they,
Yeah.
So we anyway went to this microbrewery and sampled their beer and had a lot of fun.
They grow their own hops, make their own beer, and
It is the brewery in Denver.
no,
Or-
it's in a little town called Frederick.
Where is Frederick? Where is that? Is it in the mountains? Is that
No,
out in the country, south?
In fact, it's probably 3 exits north of Denver. It's right before you hit Longmont.
yeah, it's kind of I'd say like east of Boulder.
Yeah, maybe that. And it's on the. It's right there. I mean, you can
on the
exit
east side
right
of
off I-25, and you're almost there.
Right on
It's
the
not-
east, right on the east side of 25.
Okay.
So
So if you're in
Boulder,
North Denver, you're in Fort Collins, you're in Longmont, hit me up. I'm going to tell you where to go to this great little
Yeah.
brewery that has
They got a
really
lot of-
good roasted coffee in the morning, all the way till really good beer at night.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Colorado's one of the leading, brewing states in the country.
Yeah. Yep.
And they got a nice little outdoor venue, little outdoor patio, a deck, and then a little astroturf area, and
Fire pit.
fire pit.
Yeah.
You didn't sit out there, did you?
No, we could have though,
Oh,
because the
okay.
fire pit was very nice.
Sunday it was really nice there. So
Well, I saw the Cowboys. So is this a former Wyoming
yes,
friend?
yes.
Now,
Went
does
to
anybody
Wyoming
say anything
with
to you
me.
that and the Broncos are are interested in Wyoming's
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, the quarterback?
I'd love that. He's a great quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, and he's right there. I mean, that's Bronco country.
Yeah.
Laramie.
No.
Yeah.
We could use a quarterback, right?
Oh. Yes, we could.
Right?
Farmchick, you've been paying
I
attention.
think I know
can
that
tell.
much.
After Sunday, I think we'd like to steal that Keenum from Minnesota. I don't know. He
You
looked
know,
pretty good, too.
Sunday night, we came back from our little trip, and I found myself alone in my room watching TV, which I usually am at the end of the night because nobody wants to watch what I want to watch. And I found myself watching Sports Center.
Did you see that?
Because I was looking at Twitter. I'm like,
miracle.
okay, I got to look and see what happened at this game because apparently
Miracle in Minnesota.
it was something.
I saw
And I'm
it
thrilled
live.
because
I
I
s-
like the Vikings.
I saw it live, and my wife left the room for a minute. She thought it was over, and I go, holy
yeah.
cow! They just scored. You know, my brother-in-law grew up in Minnesota, so we get a lot of the skull stuff. You know, you hear
Oh, yeah.
the word skull. They use that a lot. So, and he's got his horns, Viking horn hat. So we have to cheer for Minnesota.
Yeah, and
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
I went to camp 2 summers in Minnesota, so I like Minnesota. And
I know a guy from
and,
Minnesota.
Yeah, you know a guy. And I remember for some reason Fran Tarkington when I was growing up. I don't know why.
It's kind of a hard name to say, isn't it?
I know. I don't know
mean,
why I remember him so well, but
Was this a cheerleading camp or a tennis camp? Or
yeah.
something like
Was
that?
it a cheerleading camp?
Was it a cheerleading camp?
we played tennis. No, my parents like to ship me off in the summer, so
It was
they
a
shipped me to Minnesota.
It was a please go away camp.
It was this camp
Well,
is 3
many-
weeks. This camp is 8 weeks in Minnesota. Let's send her to that one.
It was probably called Camp Minnetonka or something like that. A lot of Minnetonkas and
Faribault, Minnesota.
Faribault.
Faribault,
Wow.
Minnesota. So anyway, that was a great game. Yeah, I was like sitting in there going, okay, I'm watching Sports Center, but because I wanted to know what happened at the end of that game, and
Wow.
I like close games like that.
Yeah. Well, that was the best. That was one of the best games in
So that was
a
good.
long time. So we'll see what happens this weekend. I hope they move. It'll be the first time in 40 years, did they say, that since Minnesota's been in a Super Bowl.
Well, now I'm kind of cheering for them for sure.
Yeah, they're going to be the one to cheer for, especially if the Patriots get in there.
Oh, we don't want that.
No.
Nobody wants
Nobody
that.
wants the Patriots. I
Does
don't-
anybody want that?
Nobody wants
I
that.
don't think I have to worry about
Go
that.
away.
So anyway,
But anyway, so we went to Mountain Cowboy,
Yes.
the name of the brewery, and I learned all about brewing a beer, which is big for me
wow,
because
that is.
You got quite the tour.
I got quite the tour. I got to see how everything works, including how to hook up the hoses to the vats.
Yeah.
So you're going to bring that knowledge here to Goodland and create
No, I
our
am not.
first.
That's what I
brewery?
learned. That's what I learned. There ain't no way I'm doing that.
You walk in there and you go, this is really neat. And then you take the tour and go, wow, this is a lot of work.
That's right.
There's a lot that
A lot
goes
of
in
hours
Yeah.
on that baby.
Yeah, that's always been kind of a fantasy idea I've had of doing something like that.
I think
You're
it is
right.
for everybody. I think
it is a lot of work.
everybody thinks they want to open a microbrewery or they want to open up a restaurant, and then
Yeah.
and then the glamour goes away.
Yeah,
So
it is a lot of work. Hayes has got a couple of them. I
Yes.
know that. I have visited the only brewery I've ever visited is in Colorado Springs called I can't name the company, but they brew Laughing Lab. Have you ever seen that? Brew?
I
It's-
can't
you
say
can find
I
it throughout
have.
most of Colorado. It's
no
one of my favorites. Laughing Lab.
laughing lab,
Laughing
like a dog.
Lab. Yeah, got
Okay.
a picture of a laughing lab on the.
Well,
label.
I was teasing my friends that they're mountain cowboy, and I said I'm out here on the prairies. When they're ready to franchise, we'll put in prairie cowboy
Yeah.
And
because we're the cowboys already.
and I offered
So
to go
it
down
would
to
work.
Arizona and run that one for them. Just
Well,
Desert cowboy,
desert cowboy,
Desert Cowboy. Okay.
beach.
or maybe Hawaii cowboy.
Speaking
Or
of Hawaii,
Bahamas Cowboys.
how was that little thing that happened? Hawaii.
Oh, that poor guy had pushed the wrong button. You know.
Mm-hmm. I saw today that they've reassigned him.
Really?
I saw that right before I came in here.
He's the guy that sweeps the floors now. I think.
They've
Yeah.
reassigned him. I'm thinking to where?
Nowhere near that button.
But that's a
A
little.
dungeon somewhere.
In all the years,
Dilly dilly.
you know, growing up as a kid, we were taught to get under our seats and go to the
Yeah.
fallout shelters. And then in the
Duck
early
and cover.
'80s, you guys surely were scared out of your wits. That you know, it was really serious.
Cold War.
Cold War times.
I
I mean, I was bothered as a young adult raising kids at the time, but here we are. Something like that never happened back then.
Okay, but I think what added to it is this alert everybody gets on their phone.
Yeah.
That says, we didn't have that in the 80s, and certainly you didn't have it where you just kind of heard of it, and they tell you, get under desk, kid,
Right.
which I'm like, because those desks are going to protect you.
Yeah.
You remember the TV movie The Day After?
Oh, yeah. We had to
Yes.
watch it
Shot
as a
in
group.
Kansas.
Oh, yes.
We had to watch it in groups. They wouldn't let us watch it by ourselves.
I remember that very well.
And then War Games with Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
But this alert came across everybody's phone.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Oh,
It
yeah, I
said,
heard
this
that,
is
yeah.
not a drill.
Right. And then
That might
that's the whole point. My making is
make you a little nervous. when you
nothing
saw
like that has
I
ever
had some
happened.
friends that
before.
were headed to Maui that day. They were landing that day. So it'd be a little disconcerting.
It
wouldn't
sure would.
And it can't be good for the. I'm sure most people get it, but even the whole idea of the situation is, can it be good for tourism there? I don't know. Is it going to keep people from going?
No.
I don't know. It might deter some people.
You might not want to go to Chicago either. The guy will reach Chicago too with his missiles. That's what he's saying. So, what difference does it
Well,
make?
it seems like, now they're warning against some travel in Mexico, which they always do. I said, you got to live your life. You could be you could be at a concert in Las Vegas,
there are certain places
unfortunately, and
in
something
certain
happens.
places in Chicago I wouldn't want to hang out.
Wow.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Kind
And
of same
that's
thing.
kind of how that works.
Right.
Just be smart.
Now the missile coming at you. It doesn't matter if you're in the good part of Chicago or the bad part of Chicago, right?
It does not.
You're it.
I think I'd rather be in Des Plaines or someplace like
Yeah.
that.
Well, they
than-
said on the part of what that tweet or whatever that alert said was to seek shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know where that would be
I don't
unless you had a shelter. But otherwise, they said there were people in Walmart wondering
Yeah.
where to go because it lasted about 38 minutes before
Yeah.
the all clear came. So for 38 minutes, people were.
I would be the person. I really would be this guy. I don't believe it. And then
You're
Which
gonna
is
stand out-
dangerous.
You're going to
This is
stand
more-
outside and watch it like a tornado because that's
Yeah,
the way we
I don't
do
believe
things
it.
here.
and especially now,
Yeah.
that's what people are going to be.
yeah.
If
Well,
God forbid, it would happen.
I read the article I read. I guess there's still a lot of the old World War II bunkers that people built right after Pearl Harbor there. And
Yeah.
one family just grabbed everything and threw it down in there and went running down there and,
If you'd know where it was, I
and
guess.
watched their phones until they all clear.
Then you'd be down there in that bunker and your phone wouldn't work.
yeah.
You could be down there for
Yeah,
years.
really. I wouldn't think you'd have good service. And I
Yeah,
hope you don't,
apparently.
or it's not a very good bunker.
yeah, yeah, that's right.
I feel really safe down here with
I'm bet my cell signal can get
watching Netflix on my phone.
in. Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's a nuclear weapon bunker. I think it was more, Japanese airplanes dropping bombs. Type.
Oh, it's
I
kind
never
of-
I don't even look for them anymore. But do they still have the signs up for fallout shelters? Like the.
I don't know.
I know at the Methodist Church.
That's the one I've always remembered is the
Yeah.
Methodist Church.
Yeah, I never really thought about that. Whether that sign's still up or not. It just
I don't-
becomes so
Yeah.
normal. And the schools used to have them.
Yeah.
Central School used to have one for the basement. So.
Well, Central School still, their basement's it's a tornado shelter. I mean, it's well
Yeah,
protected
but I mean,
down
if they
there.
actually had nuclear
That
fallout
said
shelter.
fallout shelter.
Yeah, fallout shelter. Yeah.
I don't know if it.
I know someone came along and said, you know what? Really?
If you have a basement, isn't it the same thing anymore? If you got your own basement in your own house,
I don't know.
just as,
I don't know. I always figured they were lined with lead. No,
I was going to say, isn't it the radioactivity that
that's what the fallout means.
Uh-huh.
that's
I mean-
what is going to get you eventually?
I
Didn't
thought-
you watch The Day After?
Yeah, I don't think it was. We're not going to get bombed
the
here
blast.
necessarily.
It's
Okay,
the-
well, let's talk about something else. I just wonder if
No.
they had the sign still up. That's all. That was my only question. Are the
Unless you
signs
stock
still
up with mountain cowboy growlers and take them down with you.
It's
That's the only
crazy
way you'll
we're
get
even
bombed.
talking about it, but I will say if I would have been in Hawaii on vacation and that would have come across my phone, it might have.
You've been a little nervous.
It was a little nerve-wracking, I would
Yeah.
think so,
Yeah.
in this day and age, unfortunately. So,
But I say that like I'd be big and brave, but I would because I don't like being in an airport when there's a storm coming
tornado
You're
or,
right.
yeah.
in. Just one of those things I don't like being trapped.
I don't like being in an airport. Period.
Well,
I don't care if
but
there's a
at
storm or
least
anything.
at least if you're on the mainland, right? You can at least feel like you could go somewhere.
Get in a car and go somewhere.
Right. If you got that text today, you feel like, you know what? I can load up my car and I can go start. I don't know where I'd go to, but start driving. And you're in Hawaii. You're gonna drive to their side of the
You
island.
drive to church
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
and say a prayer.
you probably didn't see Madam Secretary last night.
I didn't see it last
Or
night. I do enjoy
Sunday
that
night,
show.
A couple days now, Sunday night. It was one of the hokiest episodes I think they've ever had. But the president gets a little tumor or something, and he's decides to declare war on Russia.
Because he had a tumor?
Yeah, it was pressing against a nerve, and it was causing him to say weird things.
Oh.
So he was going to shoot down all their satellites.
The tumor was what was causing him to say weird things. Hey,
and of course,
it's a theory there.
His entire cabinet is just can't figure this out, so they all get together and they invoke
Article 25.
Article 25, exactly.
Not Article or Amendment 20, Article 25. Yeah.
And they finally convince him to see a doctor, and he gets an injection or something, and he's all better.
Oh.
But it was just...
It's the tumor talking.
That's a little subtle comment on...
It was goofy.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
I
I
would
think
think
the whole
so.
episode was designed to mock what's going on
I would
now.
think so.
So last week when they were doing all, because I was saying Madam Secretary is nothing but a bunch of, is very political.
Right.
Driven. I mean, I always thought it was a vehicle to make Hillary look good, right?
Yeah, but I think the president is not necessarily a liberal president.
I know. I'm just
series,
saying. I just meant it was about making Hillary look good. Madam Secretary.
Yeah, could be.
Supposed to be the idea. Okay. But so a couple weeks ago when they were having all the discussion about Article 25, the only reason I know about it is because they're having a discussion about it a couple weeks ago. You think that's just publicity for the Madam Secretary show?
Oh, I've never heard of this Amendment 25 thing until last night. So you're telling me that there was discussion about it because of
Well, I've been hearing about Article 25 for longer than a couple weeks.
Well, I know, but do you
on
think
different things? I mean, it's been brought up that
since the
that
first
exists.
of last year, probably.
Well, no, I'm just saying that. So this is how I think it's just Hollywood putting it out there so that way.
I think it's
Yeah,
all
I think you're right. I would agree with that. I think the episode of Madam Secretary last night is designed to correlate, what could possibly be going on with our own situation in our country. So
make up their own stories.
Right. And therefore, it was one of the worst episodes they've ever done. Some of them
I do like that. I haven't not seen that show though in a few weeks. So
yeah,
the side story. There's always a side story.
Mm-hmm.
The side story is the son of Madam Secretary and her husband didn't have a baby book made when he was a baby.
Oh.
Well, join the crowd.
And he was very unhappy because he was the last kid.
Get in line.
He was the last kid, and all the how it is. Your last kid doesn't necessarily get a baby book. So interspersed with the world coming to an end, they have these little bitty segments of 2 minutes of dealing with the son and his baby book.
Do you have a baby book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, because I was the first.
I know.
And you're the last. You didn't get one.
No, heck no. I
my
got a
kids
Polaroid.
all three have baby books.
I got a Polaroid. A Polaroid. You know how long Polaroids last?
No,
Not forever.
Not forever.
Mm-mm.
Well, anyway.
Not even in a nuclear fallout shelter. The Polaroid.
And I think I only got a Polaroid picture of me because I happened to be crawling across in front of the camera when Mom was taking a picture of the family room. I don't think I was even posed.
My kids all have baby scrapbooks. When that was what was popular when I had little kids were these creative memory scrapbook things.
The announcement in the paper.
And so Grace's goes like all the way to like 7th grade.
Yeah.
Henry's goes to about 5th grade. Eve has one.
Yeah.
And ends at 1st grade.
The son and Madam Secretary, his baby book wasn't even taken out of the wrapping yet.
Oh.
He was very upset because they were all looking.
Well,
here's yours. It's not even been opened yet.
My oldest sister, hers is completely filled out. My second oldest sister, hers is partially filled out.
Mm-hmm. See, that's the way everybody is.
Alicia's is, I think she may have one and has a shoebox, and I have a Polaroid picture. So there's the Dana, the second oldest sisters, they're all just kind of stuck in. They're not put in. They're just kind of there, right? Just kind of in the pages.
It's just the way it is.
And now we have to be all organized on with all these digital photos.
I know, because there's so many. I have so many photos on my phone, and what do I do with them? I upload them to something.
Yeah, you have to upload them to somewhere. But then there's a lot of services. Mine is Shutterfly. There's all different kinds of ones.
Mine's like ever.
But all of mine are on Shutterfly. And then my question is Shutterfly going to be around for 50 more years?
Hey, the nice thing about the photo albums, is be able to sit down and look through them.
I still get those made every once in a while, those photo albums. But yeah.
I've embarked on a year-long project that I've already started on for next Christmas, in that I'm scanning every one of the oldest pictures I can get of our family, the old black and whites of the pioneers, and scanning them all into the computer, and just progressively through the year, both my mother's side and my dad's side, and then by the end of the year, and then I will include any pictures I've taken of any of my grandkids, and at Christmas time, I hope they're not listening, because this is a surprise.
Really?
But this is
Turn off the radio, kids.
But there's a whole point to this, so I will present them with a scan disc of all these pictures, especially the old ones that may
That's
not be
nice.
around anymore.
That's nice.
And I want them to all put them in all their computers, and I want them to be saved, and because my grandson's grandson someday is going to want to know.
You ought to
what
make
happened.
you ought to make a book for
Do you
them as
put
well.
do you put who they are?
We've got a book. We got a family book, and I'm going to scan that in so it doesn't get. So you have a digital copy that won't get wet
That'll
or
be great
burned
because
or,
I'm sure that sans disc will be there in just like we use floppy disks every day now.
Well, but if you transfer it, you're not hearing my point. You transfer it, you update it to whatever
Computer
the
to
new
computer?
technology is from year to
Okay.
year
But
to
do you
year.
have any way to say who those people are in the photo?
Yes, and I'm
Okay.
labeling each one of them.
Okay.
Who they are, what year they were taken, if that's
that's
available.
nice, Martin. That's good.
But yeah, the whole point is a scan disc isn't going to be around in 5 years. It'll be something else. But transfer it to that. And if you give it to all your kids, surely someone
will figure it out.
Someone will
You'll
do
start
that.
when you start thinking about it, it gives you a little bit of a panic attack, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All the photos and memories and what if.
You know, my dad's the last link to those photos. I mean, he knows those people, and some of them were alive when he was alive. Some of them weren't.
Right.
And so when he's gone, then it's up to me. And when I'm gone, then ain't gonna be nobody.
So
Really.
So I get
Pass
fed
it
of
on.
my family because I'm the youngest one, but I know all the history. And there's
You
nobody,
better get to work. Then.
and there's nobody around to contradict me, so I can make up any story I want to. They're like, sure, that's our cousin. Yeah.
Well, my dad wrote a great book. He typed out, a big, thick old book of all the family history. And, my copy is already ragged and, someday it's going to get flooded in the basement or something. But I'm going to transfer all that into the digital version. So
That's a
it'll be
good
there.
idea.
So
That
it'll
will
be
be
there.
Good job.
So that's my
Great
project.
gift.
I've got 1 year to get it done.
I hope the kids don't find out.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell the kids.
And they're gonna take that scan disc and throw it in a drawer somewhere. But I'm gonna force them to
But you tried it.
put it into their computers. But
Then you can say it's
someday
in your hands.
somebody will have a copy of it. Hopefully,
Right.
someday.
Because we don't.
Would you then the next following year would you do that for my history?
Well, I've thought about making a business out of it.
Uh-huh.
Well,
I'd love to do stuff like that. I write family books. I've thought about that. And nobody does that.
No.
I know.
And you need to talk to somebody who knows that stuff now before it's too late.
Okay, well, I'll start talking.
You better.
You start recording, and I'll start talking.
Here's the other thing
We're recording right
include
now.
in that book is everybody's handwriting. Go get your dad's handwriting. Your handwriting's becoming a thing of
There's several things like that, like my grandparents' marriage license, which they wrote on. Their
Yes.
handwriting
See?
is on that. So
All
I've
that
scanned
stuff's
that in
important.
already. So.
There you go.
And we're out of time.
Oh,
Ooh,
Just like
speaking
that.
of scanning, you scanned right through it.
So, hey, thanks guys for coming by. And next
you.
week, what's going on next week? It's the
We'll be the after
well,
the
this
SIT.
weekend, I think the wrestling boys are in Hayes,
we've got a basketball tournament next week.
and the
week.
basketball
It's this week.
kids are in Salina for their SIT tournament, where the Goodland boys are ranked first,
Seeded number one.
seeded
yeah.
number 1. So
All right.
Yeah,
So there you
I
go.
love that tournament.
All right, yell out and good luck to everybody. Thanks for coming in. Stay warm. Hopefully warm up here today in the next few days. And we'll be back hopefully next week on Martin, Jeff, and the Farm Chick, brought to you by The Insurance Agency, Northwest Tech, Elliott's Home Furnishings, Goodland Sonic Drive-In, and Eckland Insurance, LLC on Eagle Cable Channel 10, KLOE AM Radio, streaming from the World Wide Web on our Facebook page. Like us on Facebook.